Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means, the other one just along for the ride, and the other one is dealing with some sickness. What up, Mike?
What up? It's been a minute since we've been here. I'm looking at the rundown, and there's just so much crap that we have not covered on a pod yet. So this is gonna be a fun one.
I know it's insane. Like our lives are absolutely insane right now. Like just the going back to school and trying to be a functioning adult after not being a functioning adult for so long. It's hard to keep up with all of the juggling that we did during the season.
Yeah, the ambition during the summer is kind of hurting us right now.
Yes, it is. But we're our own boss. We're our own entity, right? We can do whatever we want. Nobody's calling the shots. And like, this is what you came for. You get what you get when you want it. If you want more, let us know. We'll try our best. But right now, this is a fun little hobby. I just want to preface all of this. A fun little hobby that we all do just for fun and just to push the envelope a little bit for some of the more frequent Colorado Rockies coverage. And like, huge shout out to the boys, Rockies Insider, the DNVR with Christian. You got the Affected by Altitudes. I got Kyle Karros on the pod today. So like, you can still get your banter sessions. I mean, it's not us, so don't go too crazy over there, but you can still get your prospect kind of niche click there too. So
yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
This off season too, we're gonna have a bunch of interviews. So don't unfollow, don't go far. But so we will still be here.
We're not going anywhere. We're just not around as much. We do have our own priorities and stuff going. Our big boy stuff that we have to do going.
Like a job in school, whatever that is. Whatever.
Yeah. Add it to the list of things that I have. I have like 15 different hats on per day, so it's crazy. So the fact that we get to spend the time when we want, how we want it is awesome. And that's our little PSA. We're done talking about all that. Before we get into all the nitty gritty stuff, you shout out to our sponsorship, Sports Spider. Guys, if you're tired of searching multiple websites for sports news, sportspider.com has you covered. They collect the latest articles, videos, and podcasts from around the web and organize them by your favorite teams. If you want to stay up to date as possible with the Colorado Rockies, hit that link in the description to check out sportspider.com, spider spelled with a Y. Mike, do you have any idea if they cover the English Premier League or the Champions League?
They do.
They do.
So you can get your fix there. You can get anything, I think, there. So
sportspider.com, check them out. Just a nice one-stop shop with all of it. And they allow us to kind of...
I mean, I'm looking right now. They even cover my third division English team that I follow. So they do everything.
They crawl all over and grab all the news you want. So go check it out, sportspider.com. They help us stay at the top of the Rocky stuff. Brian, what up? Thank you for hanging out with us. It's been a hot minute. Hope you're doing all right. Doing okay all the way up there. Isaac, welcome, big dog. Thanks for hanging out. Woo, that is right. So we are doing this quick. Like I said at the beginning, like we spent just 2.5 minutes. We do have stuff to go. I still have to get to bed, post this and all that. Still get up early and take care of some other little humans, which is insane. Mike probably has to wake up at 8. You have an 8 o'clock class?
Not tomorrow. Today I did though, so I'm looking a little tired here.
We're human, and we're on Eastern time zone, so bear with us. So 30 minutes is kind of the idea here. We're going to hit the highlights, but then we're just really going to dive into who's next, right? It's all we have right now. It's the last week. Maybe why I go through the Albuquerque Isotopes things. Mike, can you look up when the September call-ups happen? Get that going. But let's start in the Albuquerque Isotopes and stats there. There's just a lot of strikeouts. You put it in the rundown there. It makes me worried about the big league squad, but Montero continues to mash. Yankee L, 8 hits, 4 doubles, 907 OPS, which is awesome. Ryan Rollison, do we see him? I don't know. Stick around. Listen to us talk about him in a little bit, maybe. 3.1 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. Jeff Hartlieb, 4.1. Carson Palmquist had a nice outing, had a nice rebound outing, which I want to get into in a little bit. 5.1 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run. So, I mean, there's some things. Our boy Dugan Darnell is on the developmental list. Evan Justice still not going there. Jaden Hill's on the IL. Seth Halverson's getting saves. Riley Pint's still around. I think it's a hodgepodge of craziness happening in Albuquerque.
Yeah, I mean, I looked it up. It's the 1st of September. You get 2 extra roster spots. So we're going to really see guys vying for a roster spot here in the next 5 days. And it's probably going to be a lot of pitching. And I doubt we're going to see a Zach Veen. If we are going to see a nice call-up, one of those like ones that we get a lot of impressions with, it's going to be a Yankee Fernandez because the front office loves him. But we'll get to that a little more. So we have 5 more days until we get 2 more guys on the team.
Okay, yeah, it's only 2, right? They only went from 26 to 28. Yeah, and where this team is with this bullpen, I don't know. It makes you just scream. It makes you just lean arm bar on people. But you never know. Like we had no idea who was starting the game tonight before until like 3 hours before the game. I guess Ryan Feltner was the starter. We had no idea that was happening.
I wonder if Senza will just get that spot too.
Right.
He's doing rehab this week.
Yeah, he pitched in Spokane this past week. I think he's going to Hartford this week. So we'll see a little Cincy as a goat, which will be cool to see him in that kind of jersey. Speaking of the goats, some batting. Anybody you want to highlight right in the Eastern League over there?
Juan Guerrero is that's my guy. I love that guy. He got that call up. He spent like 2 years in Spokane. He got that call up finally, and he's kind of making the most of it. He's been probably their most productive player since Ryan Ritter went down. Ryan Ritter was that guy. Now it's passed the torch to Juan Guerrero. So he's just hitting the ball, a couple steals here and there. So just being a productive player at the level that's a pretty high level. That jump is legit. So I'm happy for him.
It is, yeah. It's not an easy jump to do, so I'm glad Juan is doing that there. I mean, Adel Amador, good week? I don't think so. I'm going to say it's a bad week. 553 OPS, 3 hits, 1 RBI, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 2 stolen bases, only 16 plate appearances. I think they got rained out.
Yeah, they had a game get rained out. So
yeah, and they were trying to make one up, but they also didn't. So that was the thing. But our boy Chase Dollander shoved, like, I don't know, man. 10 strikeouts, 5.2 innings pitched. It's just insane. Like, I actually was able to watch that game. I think that was the one game I actually was able to sit down and like
good one to choose
watch. Yeah. I pick and choose my battles, right? So if I could see a Chase bump day, like I'm in. And then Bryce McGowan, friend of the pod there, kind of a hidden gem. He can hit 100, has big stuff, 5 Ks in his 5 innings of 5 outs of work. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of friend of the pods do well. I wonder if that's just like maybe where we're doing that for him. I don't know. It's a vibe thing.
Or if we get enough of them, it's just bound to happen that they're going to do great, right?
Yeah.
So quantity over quality. No, Bryce McGowan has the stuff. It just needs to be consistent. So hoping that continues on there. Spokane Indians. You obviously didn't watch it. We already talked about it, but they had maybe the best game of the year that nobody.
They had a weird week too. I think they almost got no hit twice. They had no hitters going into the 9th twice this week against them.
Oh, I didn't see the first one, obviously, because I probably missed it. Just the Kyle Karras walk-off. Like,
that's big, yeah.
But you worry about the bats in Fresno and Spokane. We've been talking about that. Charlie Condon's been pretty quiet since his first week there. So nothing to be worried about. Charlie Condon's still going to rake, and he's still going to be in AA next year. But Kyle Karras, league-leading double, brought home Dion Jorge to end the no-hitter, to call the walk-off. So the pitcher that had the no-hitter going into the 9th only had 8.2 innings pitched, which is a win with Kyle Karras there. So love to see that. Cole Carrig, 818 OPS. No, anybody else you want to highlight there?
GJ Hill, Glenn Allen Hill. Every week I'm saying this guy, no one's talking about him because he's not a household name. He was signed from another minor league team. So when that happens, you sort of start asking a lot of questions. The ceiling there is limited. You feel like dude just hits the ball. I mean, it's been a great second half. He's doing better in Spokane than he was in Fresno, shockingly. So I feel like every week I say this, but I'm going to keep giving him his flowers because he keeps hitting.
Yeah, he's one that we got to get on the pod. He needs to be a friend of the pod real soon. So if you're listening, GJ, come hang out. And then I got two. I'm going to do 2. Sam Weatherly, his 3 saves. He's only been up for like 3 weeks, so I'd love to see that. 2.1 innings pitched, 5 Ks, 1 hit in that time. Love to see it. And then Yuhanar Herrera, he shoved. He was I think the one battling the no hit Kyle Karras walk-off game. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Just the battle of the dogs up there in that game. Your boy Andy Perez debuted this week.
Yeah, good for him. Another one of those that spent if you look at the Fresno record books, he's on a lot of those, especially like triples and doubles because he's been there for just so long. So I'm happy that he got the call up.
Much deserving too.
Still really young. I think he's still 19, 20. So
yeah, 20 years old. Yeah. There's so much youth in the system too. Like Zach Veen's 22 and he's AAA and he's pushing the envelope.
I feel like we forget that because if you put that age, we have 22. Like Charlie Condon, what is he like? Probably 21, 22.
Condon might be older.
Condon. Because I feel like that's more important than experience. Is that age factor? At least for me, it is.
Charlie Condon, 21 years, 134 days.
Close, yeah.
Zach Veen, I think, is 22.
Were they in the same high school class?
Maybe 22, 258. I'm sure Bean's just a little bit older.
Okay. 1 year.
Yeah, so that's crazy. They are, 1 year older, 4 years more experience in the pro league. So just always keep in mind, like these guys are, all of them have their different routes, their different stories there. And then down in Fresno, Blake Wright. I know we talked about him last time 2 weeks ago, and he has continued just to dominate. 1.1088 OPS, only 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Stu Fleesland had a nice little spot start, 5 innings pitched, 5 Ks. I'd love to see that. And then McCade Brown is kind of coming back from his rehab. He's another guy that has big strikeout stuff. Just can't stay healthy. 3 innings pitched, but had 7 strikeouts in his outing. Anybody else you want to highlight there?
Connor Ian, I think he had a long relief role. He had 5 Ks, no earned runs. And then Caleb Hobson just keeps doing it with he had 4 hits this week, 7 walks this week, which is unheard of for the Rockies system. So I'm excited for that. And he's fast. He's going to steal bases like he did this week, 4 of them.
He's just athletic, man. And then him and Tevin Tucker, and you got Tenna. So much speed down there. If you just want to see athletes.
Aaron Thomas, he's a good you throw him in the lineup. It's everybody's fast then.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. So a lot of good things happening around. Our boys, Luke and Mac, are gonna have the rundown, the weekly recap out tomorrow. We will actually get it out tomorrow. Like I said last week, I'm sorry, Mac. I'm sorry, Luke, that we didn't get that out till Thursday. I'm sorry to everybody listening that reads that we didn't get it out till Thursday. It was a week. So we're back. We're ready. We're back on schedule. So that will be released. So you can get all of your minor league recap in written form by people that are way smarter than me and Mike in there. So check BlakeStreetBanter.com tomorrow. Before we get into who's up next, let's give a shout out to Daily Controls LLC. Are you ready to transform your industrial process into seamless symphonies of efficiency and precision? Look no further than Daily Controls LLC. No 2 businesses are alike, and neither are those control systems. If your buttons don't button, if your blinks don't blink, trust Daily Controls to get your equipment running smoothly 24/7. More information, go to dailycontrolsllc.com or simply email Mr. Daily, info@dailycontrolsllc.com, and tell him Blake Street Banter sent you. Tell him the boy sent you, and just have some fun in that email. All right, next up, who is next? So we got the call-ups. You said it. September 1st, we get 2 call-ups. Whole bunch of positions happening. Jake Cave is starting still, which is wild. Granted, there was a late scratch tonight. We got chaos in the arm barn. You have no idea who your 5th starter is. Lambert was sent down. Tanner Gordon was sent down. Blaylock is making noise. So a whole bunch of nonsense, right?
Yeah, and I would like to point out this month is important because there is a legit chance we can avoid 100 losses with a good month. So there's still something to play for.
What is the Rockies' record right now?
I saw it. It's not that bad in terms of like 100 losses.
We have 47 wins?
Yeah. 48. So we need 15 wins?
48, so we need 15 wins.
We just got to go a little above 500.
That's all. That's all we have to do.
We've done that. We've done that over a month stretch in other seasons, and this season I'm sure we have. So
I don't think we have.
Something to watch out for.
Go find 8 games and see if we've gone 500 in any 8 games of the season. I don't know.
It was a 9-game win streak, right, or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. There was a win streak in there, but I don't know if they hit 15. Okay, let's go through that. So who's next? So where do we find 15 wins? Terrible podcasting, but this is what happens when 2 guys talk about baseball.
We play the Marlins 3 times. That's
so Marlins
2 there.
4 games against the Marlins. Let's say 2.
Okay. Well, let's say Marlins and Orioles we have 6. Let's say we go 3-3.
And tonight. So 7 total.
Oh, okay. Good call. So,
I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna say 2 wins. Yeah.
What are we doing here?
I mean,
then we do have the Braves.
Marlins are salty.
That's
Orioles
true.
are good.
They're also not good though, so I don't really care how salty they are.
All right, 3. All right, 3 wins. 3 wins in those. Atlanta's next. May at Atlanta. They're kind of terrible right now. I'm gonna go 1. So 4, maybe 1 against the Brewers. 5. They might take 2 from Detroit. 6, 7. 1 from the Cubs. 8. None from the Diamondbacks.
Well, you gotta think those are home games though. Like us at home against Diamondbacks, we turn up.
Okay, I'll get 9 there. I'll say 1. Dodgers will get swept at LA.
Yeah, at LA.
First Cardinals. maybe 1. So we're at 10,
Dodgers again.
and the Dodgers. I don't see a world where we get 15, dog.
I can see a world.
All right, I'll be the James, the pessimist. You be the optimist over there. It's just tough. If you're listening, like, do you really think we hit 15 wins?
Throw out the poll.
Throw out the poll. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's pull it up. All right. So who's up next? You go first. Who do you think is getting the call up next, and why? You can go highest, lowest, long shot. Maybe start with a long shot who might just like surprise us because the Rockies are going to the Rockies.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Yanquiel Fernandez. I know the coaches love him, the front office loves him. AAA, you don't really want someone to be there for long. Though we did see like Tovar when he got caught up in that September range. He went to Albuquerque for like a week and a half or 2 weeks. Almost the same thing, same timeline, probably a little longer for him. He's not striking out as much. He's a 16% strikeout rate in Albuquerque. I know it's Albuquerque, like strikeouts, it's just different there. He's still going to strike out a lot, I'm sure, when he gets to the majors, especially early. He's become more diverse in his hitting. He's not just a power-only guy. That means that we still need more power, though, from him. So I'm excited. I think the front office loves him. All the scouts love him. Like we've said this, the same song and dance like every other podcast. Smart guys love this guy, and they're going to want this guy to get a lot of at-bats before next year.
I agree. There's just something about Yanquiel Fernandez that screams, hey, we want you here. Because, I mean, they kind of pushed him. Him and Juan Guerrero kind of started at the same time. And then you kind of saw Yanquiel kind of take off with his bat, but also he was kind of pushed more than Juan was a little bit. So
I think there's this false like notation where like there's 4 levels, you spend a quarter of your time at each. But with the Rockies and a lot of teams are doing this, it's really like 10% of your time is being spent in AAA, and they're shipping you right off to the MLB.
Very true. Like we're getting crazy call-ups now, and a lot more call-ups since then. And it's Albuquerque's PCL, so we can see it. But there's a reason that they're sending Zach Veen, Yanquiel Fernandez up to Albuquerque before going to the major league level, Carson Palmquist and that. So I think there is still some of that traditional piece, but it's not long. Like, remember Ezekiel Tovar? Like, maybe this transition into my guy, Zach Veen. I think Zach Veen's next because it's very similar to Ezekiel Tovar. One thing that I've learned about the Rockies is they don't stray too far away from the road that's already paved. And so Tovar injured. As soon as he came back, went straight to Albuquerque, spent 2 weeks there, maybe a week there, and then was called up the next day and finished the season with the big league squad right around this same timeline. Why can't that be Zach Veen? Injury, you're back, you rehabbed. All right, let's go to Albuquerque for a little bit. You're obviously part of the future. You're part of next year's plan. So let's go send you to September. Doesn't mean you're not playing for anything in Albuquerque. You could possibly play something for Hartford, but you're it's full down there. So like, just everything is saying Zach Veen is next, and Zach Veen has shown he should be next. There is 0 reasons that Zach Veen should not be on the big league squad in a September 400-loss team. Like, I just don't see an argument beyond that.
Well, I think you're right, and it's a really good point you make with the injuries. I think with Veen, I think they're going to look at it and kind of realize he's injury prone. We don't want him wasting that time in Double-A, where he's kind of already proven, especially this year, that he's probably above that. And you're not going to want him to spend a lot of time in like AAA. So there's a month left in the season. I think in order to salvage Zach Veen's season almost, because he missed so much time with injury, they're going to look at this, and I think they're going to say, hey, let's call him up. There's really not much to lose here. It's a month. Zach Veen's probably not going to rake that month. Like Tovar didn't rake. Not many guys come into the league and immediately become like a good player. That's just how it's going to happen, especially if they're rushed after injury. But I think it's going to be – he's definitely in the future plans, so I think it's going to be crucial for him to see those at-bats.
Absolutely, and I think the Rockies like the future stars. What up, Noah? Nice profile pic. The Rockies like their future stars to be with the big league club. Like, what they did to Hunter Goodman still blows my mind. Like, we're going to have you with the big league squad all year, not play you at all. And then, you know what, we're just going to send you down, and then you're going to spend the end of the season with Albuquerque, which I don't know if that's a Bud Black thing. I don't know if that's a string being pulled by Mr. Dick Monfort. Like, the whole thing is super weird to me. I don't get that.
Well, I mean, I'd argue Hunter Goodman played his way out of Colorado. It wasn't like a circumstantial thing.
I don't think he had enough chances to show that he could.
Definitely not. Yeah,
play.
but he's going to get more, definitely. So
I don't
It's not
I
like
don't know if
Cubs.
he will. I don't know. We'll see what they do with
He's
him.
spring training, and we've seen spring training moves. You saw like a Jaden Hill get added to the 40-man this year. Like
No, we
things
did.
can happen. Well, not the 40-man, but he was invited to spring training and then
Yeah,
thrown
yeah,
up
yeah.
the arm. Like it was immediately he's in the plans, kind of.
Right. And yeah, that does prove a lot there, what they think of players. But I don't know. I'm worried about that. But that wasn't the point of the conversation. Zach Veen, right? So Zach Veen, I think. And I also believe maybe this is a conversation too, definitely an offseason conversation. What is the competition for the outfield? I do believe that the only one that is safe is Brenton Doyle. Going into
I
next
think
year,
that's
I
I think
think
that's
it's
the only thing that makes sense. Yeah.
I think it's a 5-person monster for 2 spots with Nolan Jones, Jordan Beck, Greg Jones, Zach Veen, Yankiel Fernandez, and Jay Cave.
You have a lot of bullets in the chamber there to hit. So at the end of the day, like most of these guys are going to end up not reaching their full potential. But we have like 7 dudes that we talked about. Benny Montgomery will be there in spring training that can potentially be that guy. So we have a lot of potential, right? And we got Condon. I know he's not going to be there next year, but potentially he's going to be in that. You kind of want to have that outfield ready for him, that corner spot. I'm just saying is we have a lot of guys, a lot of different chances to be correct. So I think at the end of next year, we're gonna look at this and we're gonna kind of realize, oh, that guy didn't work out, that guy didn't work out, but 2 or 3 of them really did. And at the end of next year, I'm excited to see who does work out and who doesn't.
Of those 5, the main 5, who is the superstar? Who has the highest superstar potential?
I'm gonna go Veen. I think it's definitely Veen.
You think Veen has the highest superstar?
Veen is just like a stupid good baseball player. Like it's just like I don't know. There's not much analysis there that I just gave, but like, he hits the ball hard. Sure, that he can't hit a fast fastball, whatever. I don't care. I'm gonna cope and say like they're wrong about that, but Zach Veen is awesome.
And I wonder if the inside heat issue is because of the thumb injury, the wrist injury, and not being able to get around it quick enough because of this lingering issue. Like you use your arms for hitting, so there might be something with that. I agree. I think Zach Veen is the superstar. The speed is insane, which allows you to play that defense in right field a little bit better. His arm's only gotten stronger. His defensive acumen has gotten better out in the outfield. It's always been a little sus. It's getting better as he's getting.
But we're also throwing out Charlie Blackmon out there, so it's not like there's a high bar to go.
Exactly, right? Like he's definitely on par with Jordan Beck or Nolan Jones in the defensive spectrum. He does have raw power. It is there. He just has to be able to find it. And the hit tool when he's healthy, like it's insane. So so you said Yankiel. I said Veen. Are you putting your money responsibly?
I said Veen. But
no, to be superstar, but to get the call up. Like
Yankiel.
So which one of those 2, because they're not calling up 2 outfielders, which one of those 2 would you put money responsibly on to make their debut this year?
I'm gonna go Yankiel. Well, debut this year, I definitely Yankiel.
Okay, you're going
just more at bats throughout the season, more experience this season. I think the front office loves him. But I mean, I wouldn't rule out if there's an injury or 2, both of them getting at least some playing time.
I like it. I like it. I'm going Veen, obviously, but so armbar and stuff, right? A whole bunch of armbar issues. I think the only one 2 people that are safe next year that are in the barn now are Chivi and Victor Vodnik. Yeah. Victor Vodnik just being injured. Then I think the rest of it is just up for grabs.
I think Peralta, I know he's a new one, but I'll throw him in there. He looks really good.
He's definitely part of that future too, right? Like going into it. So there's some, I mean, skip the long guys, but I'm thinking just like the short inning, short relief guys that you're throwing in at the 7-8-9, right? Like if we can go a 7-8-9 type of player. I mean, I think the big 2, right, are Seth Halverson and Jaden Hill. But do you think, and Duke and Darnell, if you've been listening, you know why and all that, but realistically, I think it's Hill, Halverson, and then do you think Zach Agnos possibly has a chance?
No, I don't like when relievers. I don't think relievers get pushed up that quickly. I think we're relieving, like naturally you're throwing less innings than a starter, so you're learning less. It's gonna take a little longer to get to the league, I guess, and especially like become a good player in the MLB. We have guys above them, so I just don't really get why that would make sense. They're gonna want veterans, so they're not just gonna want to fill it out with like who we have in the system right now. It's just not how this team works, how this team operates. Sure. So you have to kind of go in there. We're probably gonna sign 2 or 3 arms or re-sign a couple guys. So there's probably only 2 or 3 spots available, and I think you have Hill, you have Halverson, Those are probably I think those are kind of guaranteed at this point. And then you go from there with like maybe a Mejia because he's already on the 40 man. But
right. And who hasn't gone above Double A? Maybe you can look up the stats while I talk about Hill a little bit. I don't know where Mejia. I know Mejia's walks have always been an issue, but like Jaden Hill, I would put all the money on Jaden Hill to make the playoff, the call up, the 26 man, 28 man call up because of the 40 man issue that we've talked about plenty of times on here. There's zero chance that the Yankees don't add him to the 40 man roster, right? So why not start that now? He's obviously going to be part of the bullpen real soon, has big stuff. Like, dude, man, I actually wrote notes on him. Plus stuff all around. His changeup is nasty. His slider's coming around. It's becoming more consistent. The fastball's hitting high 90s, like 98, 99. The control was not as much of an issue in Double A, 11 walks and 35.2 innings pitched. But in his 5 innings work at the AAA level, it's been 5 walks and he was getting smacked around a little bit. PCL, but like, I don't know, the walk stuff always concerns me no matter where you're at, right? Like you still have to throw strikes. We see it with Riley Pint. You can see it with plenty of people that Rockies pitchers just walk too many guys. And so your stuff might be nasty, Jaden Hill, but like how can we be consistently throwing strikes in that stuff? But I think
there's this weird conversation on walks right now that I don't know why I'm getting on this point, but like Blake Snell loves to like walk like elite players, so his walk rate's a little higher. But like the guys in our system, it's not like they're doing that. They're kind of just like one outing, they'll go out there and you're like, wow, that was really good. Like no walks, and the next one they're walking, bases loaded. And it's just like, it's more of like a direct problem with the pitching and not strategy like you see with a lot of like really good MLB players who have a walk issue.
I agreed. Yeah, it's very hit or miss each game time, and it's the stuff and like being able to work with the stuff, like what Chase Ellender was saying, right? Like I need to work with the stuff I have, and sometimes it feels like it's not the mentality of what every pitcher has. Like you don't have that pitch, you need to find a way to get it over the plate and get strikes and get outs. So I don't know, but I think Jaden Hill makes it. His stuff is nasty enough, right? I just hope there's a whole nother argument. I think we disagree on this part, but like the mentality part of it, right? Getting the call up and go to the major leagues and get swatted around. Like, how do you adjust to that? Well, that's what the AAA is for. But like, I don't know. I just think if you're a gamer, and we all know Jaden Hill's a gamer, like he's going to be able to handle that mental toughness at the major league level, getting knocked around. Like, all right, that's a learning curve. Let's get back out and do our thing. I don't know. I feel like that's just a kind of a made up argument about the mental part of it. But
I mean, I think
Hill and figure it out.
I think if we were like a playoff caliber team and we were like 3 games out right now and we caught up, Jaden Hill and he struggled, I think it would mean a lot more to him, and I think it would be a lot worse for his development because that's just like it means something. But if you go out there and you have a really bad outing right now, everybody's gonna wake up the next day and it's gonna be the same. Like no one, I'm not saying no one cares, but it's not that deep.
The pressure is so much less, right? There's nothing is riding on your outing at all. Nobody's mad at you. Like, I mean, Rockies fans are going to be mad because they're mean. they're fans. Like Jaden Hill's trash because he walked 3 guys in his one outing. It's going to happen. But like in the long term, like you said, you're not fighting for everything. And then, so do you think Seth Halverson makes it before Jaden Hill?
I love Halverson. So
similar stuff.
Hill's injured right now. Is Halverson good?
Halverson's pitching. Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking of Kaufman, but I think so with the injury. I think Halverson. I like Halverson's floor more, just because of Hill's injuries. I know that sounds
that's fair. That's a fair take.
But the injuries for Hill, it's a legit concern. He's been injured a lot, especially. I mean, you go to the MLB, we see injuries every year, and it kind of just takes one injury to just derail a career. You go like a year and a half without playing. So I like Halverson a lot. I mean, that fastball is legit. So he has that pitch that he can go to if he's struggling.
Did you see him? Have you looked at the rundown? Did you look at South Halverson's rundown on the rundown? Don't look at it. 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 So what is his fastball averaging?
I don't want to go too high
with the StatCast.
I'm going 97.
100.8.
Okay. I was gonna go 99, but I didn't want it to be too high and make him look like a slow fastball.
Right, then I would have just thrown 93 at you, right? But no, Dune's piping 100.8 on average. The changeup slider is at a high 80.
The stats on 100-mile-per-hour pitches it's insane. Like if you throw a 100-mile-per-hour pitch, it almost doesn't matter where you locate it. It's going to be a positive pitch. So.
It's a plus pitch, right? As long as you don't do middle, like Vodnik did on that walk-off for the Dodgers, like you'll be all right. And like, and you're dropping 15 miles an hour with all the nasty breaking stuff. And he's honing it in. So Duman struggled with walks. It's kind of vice versa than Hill. 19 walks in 35.2 innings in AA. But in his 8 innings of work at AAA, it's only 3 walks right now. And he's getting saves. He's in high intense spots at AAA level. So Halverson is pushing the envelope, and he's done that in the last like 2 months. Like go look at April, May Halverson. It wasn't good. It wasn't fun to watch. Like there was times I was watching him just like it was very Rocky bullpen-esque. And this is no shot at Seth Halverson. I'm sure he could agree, find something similar comment in what I'm saying. It's just he is a completely different pitcher than what he was in April to where he's now. He's actually pitching, he's locating, he's figuring out what his stuff does. He's kind of the Noah Davis piece. Like I just got to get it in the zone and let my stuff eat and just get strikes. And Halverson's doing that. I don't know. Just because he's not 40 man needs to be on the 40 man this year. Yeah. I just don't think he gets the call up this year.
That is the logistics behind it that nobody wants to point out that like, it matters, but that stuff matters almost more than like, how you play. It's, hey, can we retain you for X amount of years?
Right. It's like, when can we start worrying about this and figuring it out? I know we did this last time, but like the 40-man Rockies, like, do they cut any of these guys for Seth Halverson? It's maybe the idea I'm kind of thinking about. Jake Bird. No. Angel TV. No. Jeff Criswell. No. Maybe. I don't think they could maybe.
I think we'd get him back. That's why I would.
Noah Davis. I don't think so. Long relief stuff. Ryan Feltner. No. Kyle Freeland. No. Lucas Gilbreth. IL. Austin Gomber. No. And I'm talking about like right now for the September call up.
Didn't Gilly come back?
Yeah, but then today it was reported left shoulder inflammation. So dude man's back on the IL, which is terrible.
Yeah. But Kinley, would you?
Yeah. I haven't got there yet. I'm not to the case. Austin Gomber, you keep. Tanner Gordon, you keep. Dakota Hudson, he's on the IL. Doesn't matter. Evan Justice is a weird one. And so is Antoine Kelly. I don't think they cut Justice, but Antoine Kelly was a minor league free agent. Or trade, minor league trade in the middle of the season that was brought.
I think it was a waiver claim.
It was a waiver. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, waiver claim. Hasn't seen it. He could get called up. I don't.
Where's he at? What level?
We haven't even talked about. He's AAA.
Okay,
we haven't talked about him a lot. Tyler Kinley, I don't think I cut him. I think he works through this contract.
Like over under 18.5 for Antoine Kelly's ERA in AAA.
I'm gonna go under because I'm a nice guy.
Nah, it's over. It's 23, but it's a low sample size, so I'm not making fun of him.
What's it at Albuquerque?
No, that was the Albuquerque one. That's why it was
Albuquerque.
Yeah, that's probably like an average Albuquerque.
He's only pitched 2.1.
Yeah, it's not something to. But he did pitch a bunch in Round Rock and also got lit up. A lot of control issues with him. I know Isaac has a write up on him. So.
Yeah. I thought he's pitched so much more. He's been with us for a while
now.
He's
been at the complex for a little bit. I know he had sensed the complex for a little bit. But I thought that too. That's why when you brought up the name, I was like, wow, I haven't heard that name or seen that name in a box score. So
yeah, that's new. So yeah, I don't think he's getting the call up. Like just 2.1 he's with the squad. I just don't think there's anybody else that you cut. Maybe Juan Mejia, because you can probably get away with it, like you were saying.
Well, I wonder if the Kelly one is like we get him now. We can cut him in the offseason and maybe retain him. Right. I feel like that could be the thought process there.
Yeah. And who knows? The Rockies might be trying to play chess like that.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I mean, they did with Warman Bernabel. He was safe and he's back in the system and he's raking. They done it with a few pitchers now, but there's also some outfielders that could possibly be DFA'd, like Sean Bouchard. I like him. I think should get more chance, but
well, we have like 25 players that we think should get more chance. At some point, there's just not enough chance to go around.
Right, especially with who's managing the team. But we're not getting into that again. Not doing
Thursday pod.
yeah. We'll let Noah and James get into that. And then the starting pitching, and then we'll end it with this. Obviously, Carson Palmquist.
Are we talking about Dugan, your boy?
I mean, I think we talked about him a little bit, but you threw some stats on there, so go ahead and read your stats.
I like his splitter. His splitter plays, and we've seen what the Rockies do with splitters. It's weird. He's on the list. He's like at the complex, I think, right now. So it's just super weird what they're doing with him. He should be in the future. I think he's at worst like a fringe reliever. At best, you have a pretty good arm, which I like that range of outcomes. So.
Yeah, especially for what he is, right? Like a minor league free agent that played third base at D3.
Yeah, it's a fun story that we should all root for. So I don't know why they're like, I don't know. It's just, if anybody deserves that call up in 5 days, it's him.
It absolutely 100% should be. So again, Detroit in a few weeks. I'm just saying, Detroit native could happen. All right, yeah, Dugan right now. Get the call. Starting pitching. There's obviously the three-headed monster, right? Carson Palmquist, Chase Dollander, Sean Sullivan. Nobody really else. Maybe an Evan Shaver, who's been shoving, been doing fantastic in Hartford, but there's just 0% chance he makes it this year. Again, just for the September call-up. I mean, there's 0% chance they jump over Carson Palmquist, right?
Yeah, there's no way. I think Palmquist is the next guy up. If you're looking at if the Rockies are calling someone up for the future and not just like a Juan Hillman to do a spot start, it's going to be Palmquist.
It has to be. And Dude Man's already made adjustments. So in my quick research, I thought this was interesting. He got blown up his first outing, right? It just wasn't good. Don't even have to talk about it. But he had a nice little outing this past week. 5.1 innings, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts. But one thing I noticed between those two outings was his changeup speed. Maybe it's the same with his other pitches, but his changeup when he got blown up was 81.8 miles per hour. His changeup when this past week was around 79.7 on average. And there's about 10, 15 pitches in each game that the changeup was thrown. So his changeup got lit up his first game, made adjustments. You know what? I'm going to take 2 miles per hour off of this. I'm going to figure something else out and get guys out. Nobody hit the changeup hard his outing this past week, where that first outing, it was hit pretty hard. So it's that kind of stuff that I get kind of excited about with Carson Palmquist. Like, it's just, I'm going to make these adjustments and I'm going to get guys out, which is fantastic. His fastball is the one that's getting hit hard in the AAA level, which is going to, it only sits at 90 miles per hour. So he has to be able to spot it. But he's limiting that damage.
At that level too, you have a lot of players that, like, normally, I think we have this conversation where if you struggle with a pitch to hit, it's going to be a breaking ball. At Albuquerque, that level, you have a lot of hitters that, like a Montero, that kind of feast off fastballs, especially when it's 90. Like, that's just going to happen. I'm just going to throw this question at you. Do you think Carson Palmquist would be better or worse than Ryan Felner?
That's good, because I think they have different stuff, but I think Palmquist is going to be better because he just screams Kyle Freeland 2.0 to me. Yes. Just a crafty lefty who can spot and
a lot of finesse in his game.
It can pitch, and so as long as that's there for him, like he's showing in AAA right now, and looking at the Statcast, he can be a viable option as a starter at the major league level. Where Ryan Feltner, I can't figure out. I don't know what it is about him at all, so I'm not even gonna go into that.
Ryan Feltner is that player that leaves the Rockies and becomes a Cy Young candidate. It's gonna happen. We all know it.
Which we has said about many players, but it has not been true. So
it's true, yeah.
But he does have the stuff, right? Like
Joe Rock's looking really good, by the way.
Well, don't have to bring up old wounds, man. Don't have to bring up old wounds. But I don't know, like, Ryan Feltner could find a niche as being a solid 7th inning guy. right? Go in, just let your stuff eat, and just go get
especially
out.
not at cores. If you're not at cores, I think Ryan Founder's his career looks way different. He's on like the Reds, like
Right,
it looks a lot better.
right. I think there is a niche out there for him. Chase Dollander, Sean Sullivan, both are just absolutely insane. Sean Sullivan is very Carson Palmquist, Kyle Freeland like. Chase Dollander is obviously the future. Again, they don't have to push either one of those envelopes right now. Open either one of them. They're both drafted in the same draft class, both on the same trajectory, both at AA. I think they both push for a spot next year. I don't know.
I think Dollander one start wouldn't be too. Like at the very end of the year, just throw him out there. Let's just have some fun, Let him get that one start.
I think they'd do an appearance. I don't know if they'd start him because it's Buddy, but it's
because we saw the White Sox. They're big guys. They didn't go to AAA. They're big pitching prospects. So there's this, and there's this room for like if you look at other teams, they're kind of doing the same thing. End of the year, what is there to really, lose?
I think I saw Rhett Lauder was getting called up, like your point. Wow. I think, and he's same draft class as Chase. Right. I don't know who he's with though.
The Reds, right?
Is he the Reds? Yeah, he is. Rhett the Red. I remember that. So, but they're also not fighting for a playoff.
We also saw Amador get a call up, and no one in their right mind was expecting that. So I think a Chase Dollander one start is a lot less like shocking than that. So.
I'll give you that. I would agree with that.
I'm gonna use that for the next 30 years of my life. Like Amador got caught up, so anybody can get caught up.
It can happen for you if you just believe. So, would you put any money down responsibly for Chase Dollander?
I don't gamble because any money I put down, the opposite will immediately happen. So
okay,
I know. So maybe I should put money on that. It won't happen.
There we go. I don't think Chase gets a call up. It doesn't seem pressing for what they need to figure out. And Carson Palmquist is in AAA, and he's obviously kind of next. So nothing against our guy, nothing. But our other guy he's knocking on the door. All right, so you're fine. So we kind of went through kind of each position. Who are your two picks to get the call up on September 1st?
I'm gonna go Yank and how it's tough. I'm gonna shock the world. I'm gonna go Yank. I'm gonna go Dugan Darnell.
Let's go. That'd be sweet. I'm gonna go Veen. I'm going Veen and Hill. There's too much there. I'm going to go Veen and Hill.
Veen would be the most fun call up. The Amador one was fun, but we kind of knew the Amador was a short stint.
Yeah.
A Veen call up, it's like this is the future. This is the guy, high schooler that we drafted 5 years ago. This is kind of the time we're waiting for. If he gets called up, he's not going to go back for another half a year in minor league. He's going to stay here for the foreseeable future. So
absolutely,
that'd be a fun one.
That would be fun, and I think he's going to be pushing that envelope for that outfield spot. Him and Jordan Beck, I think, are battling for a spot next year. Realistically, I think Nojo has left field, but I think right field's open. I think it's Veen's.
That DH spot.
I think it's there. Yeah.
Chuck's
done. Chuck's done, right? Like after this year?
I mean,
Like by the contract, but by what the contract says.
He did sign an extension last year after the season, though.
Right.
It wasn't during the season. So, but I'm sure.
There's 0%.
I don't know. We see like Joey Votto who signed. I know he just retired, but he signed to the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Minor league team. So I hope that doesn't happen with him. I hope he just goes fishing and enjoys his retirement.
I don't think he's gonna go the Votto route.
He's not gonna worry about it.
All right. So the poll was up 61 votes in 30 minutes. Do the Rockies get 15 more wins before the end of the season?
No.
41% yes, 59% say no. I think I gotta agree.
I'm gonna look at the betting odds and see how many games are favored in. I'm sure it's not many, but probably
maybe these 2 or 3 against the Miami Marlins coming up. All right. Anything else for the good of the cause?
Ryan Ritter's still hurt. My love for the game has gone out the window since that happened. It's been a month.
That is true. It's not our lives. It's Ryan Ritter being injured that has ruined your coverage of the Colorado Rockies Minor.
Yeah. So hopefully, I'm sure he's gonna come back soon because he wasn't on the 60-day.
I know.
But he'll be an interesting camp. Like 5 months from now, when we're looking at spring training, he'll be interesting. Because, spent all year in Hartford. We've seen people make that jump to the MLB. So that's all I'm saying.
heard it here first. Mike says Fritter will be in purple. All right, let's get out of here. Go Colorado Rockies and the minor league affiliates. Woo! Thank you for watching and listening. Please check out our link tree for more content.